Zoom, zoom, zoom. Whoop. All right, we are at Lover's Leap over here on the Ouachita Trail. The stranger I'm hiking with this trip is Danny. Say hi, Danny.
Hi.
So he's gonna be hiking with us the whole way, and it's cool to get to meet new people. And then also we got Santa Claus with us.
What's up? Ho, ho, ho.
Checking out this amazing view over here. What a beautiful place. All right, so we've crossed Highway 88 and leaves us 14 miles left for our whole hike. This is a pretty short run, but so far we've had only one incident. This whole area apparently for Danny and Barry is a jinxed section. They've tried it several times and have not yet succeeded, and I was thinking that their luck was remaining when Barry misstepped on a rock and dislocated his knee, but apparently it's a pretty common thing for him. Danny pulled on it and twisted, and then it went pop, and now Barry's back to hiking, so guess the trip is on. Oh my gosh, that's really slick. So we are at Black Fork Mountain Shelter, which is mile 57.8. So the talking you hear in the background is the guys trying to decide if we're gonna just eat lunch here or camp here. Just like a lot of the other shelters, once you see the sign, there will be an arrow that's gonna point to you to tell you to go down a little bit of a different way. So, okay, well, we're gonna go have lunch and figure out what we want to do for camping tonight. So we'll let you know what happens. Oh wait, he's taking off his pack. That might mean something. Okay, so the shelter is up there on that hill that you could see up a ways, so this means we've stopped.
Yeah, we're good.
So it looks like the plan then is we are not camping at the shelter. We're going to press on.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So we are progressing on to a tent site. Hopefully we'll be able to get a nice warm fire going. And it's going to be good. I brought some fire starters. Don't tell the guys when they're not looking. I'm going to get that fire going. They're going to be amazed. We cut our lunch break a little bit short. It is cold. It's 48 degrees right now and the temperature's dropping, so we definitely decided to cut lunch short and get a move on because we were starting to shiver. I have a feeling it's going to be a cold night too. So we are at mile 58.5, and this is Forest Service Road 97. If you were to want to camp at the tent site, this is the last place to get water. So you're going to want to get water here before you press on. And then you get to hike uphill with all that water. Yay! All right, let me go find the guys. Okay guys, so I had said earlier that that other creek was the last place to get water before you hit this campsite. But we are looking at this. We've been hiking along this the whole time. Trails crossing it. We've had an awful lot of rain, so I don't know if this is a seasonal thing, but it is water, so I can't say you can depend on it being here, but it's here for us. In between the 2-tent campsite and the campsite that's 5 tents that we're staying at, there is this pond. It's somewhat clear, you can see the stuff at the bottom, but it's there's I see a lot of tadpoles swimming in it. It's not a very big pond. It's definitely stagnant. I think right now it's a little bit clearer because of all the rain they've had. But Barry and Danny said that they've hiked back here and looked at this pond before when it wasn't freshly rained on, and apparently it was really bad looking. They were laughing because Guthook said that it was a water source. They're like, I guess in a pinch. Alright, here's home away from home. There she is. That's gonna be my home. Right there. Any second now. Will someone put up my tent, please? Anyway, just want to show you guys camp. Here's my tent. This is a Z-Pax duplex. It's made of Cuban fiber, weighs like 19 ounces. And I've got it holds up with my trekking poles, so I don't have to carry poles. All I have to carry is the tent body. And then inside I have my UGQ 0 degree quilt on top of my Thermarest Neo Air. It's the women's X-Lite. And there's my pack, and there's my lovely chair, and there's Barry's lovely chair, because we're all spoiled rotten hikers. And then the new stranger has got the copper spur. Is this the new HV?
Yeah.
The HV. That's why yours looks bigger than ours. Yeah. Y'all, I'm doing this because my mom always says that I don't do enough filming of camp. Barry snores a lot, so we put him all the way over here. He's got his pack hung up, and he's made sure to leave everything open, pockets open and everything. And the reason we do this is so if rodents want to get interested in what's going on with your pack and what's in there, they don't chew a hole in it to get to it. They can just crawl in, see there's nothing there, and then crawl right back out. Let's see, Barry is sporting a Big Agnes. Is this a Tiger Wall?
Tiger Wall.
He's got the Tiger Wall 2. And what's he got inside there? He's got, looks like a Mountain Hardwear Hyperlamina Spark.
Very good.
I did a video where I talked about all this kind of stuff, and people on YouTube always say, I'm going to put a link right here in the corner, right there in the corner or something. So look up at the corner. If a link appears, then I figured out how to do it. Good morning. We're sitting at a campsite here at mile 60.4 on the Ouachita Trail. And it was pretty cold last night. The clouds started coming low and started making this mist all over everything that brought the humidity level up, and it made it pretty cold. And we were sitting there by the fire waiting for it to go out, and it didn't want to go. So we ended up coming to bed, and I just laid here in my tent and watched it from here. Today we are planning to hike to Foran Gap, and we're going to be doing right about 8 miles, I think. Anyway, this thing on my head, it's a hoodlum, and because I use a quilt, I don't have the little hood thing, you know, like on a mummy bag has. So I use this instead to keep my head warm when it's really cold out. It kind of makes me look like Snoopy when he's flying an airplane. Anyway, I've got my coffee, and the way I do my coffee is I heat my water up in my vestibule. There was one time I found a little hole in the side of my tent. It looked like it had been melted, and we thought it was some sparks from a fire, but I'd had my tent pretty far away. So I've learned I start putting my shoes tilted up to keep the heat from the stove from melting the Cuban fiber on my tent. I use these little Starbucks Vias, and I really, really like them. And I can even use the package to stir my coffee when I have the water put in. And then I use little old eyedropper bottles, and I put stevia sweet drops in them. And I put a couple little drops in my coffee. And then I also have another one that I put a little bit of water and some of that camp soap in. So that way I have little soap drops. And I write it really big on the package, soap, because I don't want soap in my coffee. That would be really, really gross. I think it'd probably give you the shits too. Okay, well, I'm gonna start having my breakfast, getting my own breakfast is usually just some kind of a bar, but I decided to do something a little different today. Today, I am not gonna take video. So many times I come across some just beautiful areas and beautiful overlooks, and the first thing I do is take out my camera and start videoing. See, what I actually need to do is just stop and enjoy it, just for myself, you know? I've got actually 40 subscribers now, and when I see a lot of the names that are popping up, they're not people that I know. So I'm really excited to get a chance to share this kind of stuff with other people. I mean, it's really, really neat. For you 40 people who I'm so thankful for, I am going to go ahead and still take some pictures for y'all, because it is beautiful, and I will pop back on with some video if I'm trying to show you guys something on the trail that's good information for when you're hiking this trail. Otherwise, I'm keeping the video off. This is just too beautiful. The sun came out. The trail's this mossy green. It feels like walking on a carpet. It's so cool. Just look at that. Ah, it's so pretty. And it's so beautiful. I wasn't gonna video it, but I couldn't help myself. I just had to show you guys. Look how beautiful. Oh, and that view. Ah. Okay, no more videos. Bye. All right, y'all. Just wanted to show you really quick. This is the waterfall that is on the Gut Hook Gap at mile 67. So I'll let you know if we see any water further down, but as of now, from what the app says, this is your water source where you're going to need to fill up if you're staying at the Foran Gap shelter. So, just an update. I'm always tripping when I'm trying to talk. Don't be tripping. So, the update is Barry's knee was doing just fine when he was hiking uphill, and it looked like we were doing good to stay at the Foran Gap shelter tonight. But once we started the downhill, his knee started really hurting, and he knew we still had a lot more downhill to do. So he's decided to go ahead and forego that, and then Danny decided, well, he probably better head back soon. So they're gonna head home. While we were at the top of Forsh Mountain, I decided to turn on my phone and see if we had any cell service. Right before we got on the trail, we caught a glimpse of a news report saying that California has been shut down, shelter in place. My mom lives in California, so we called her to see what it's like. Like, are they actually making everybody stay in their houses? It turns out they're not. You notice I'm not wearing my trademark hat. I figured y'all might like to see what I look like in my hair. Nah, I'm kidding. For some reason, when I woke up this morning, my hat was completely soaked. Nothing else in my tent was soaked. Nothing around the hat was wet, but the hat was completely wet, and it was cold this morning, so I didn't want to start hiking in a wet hat. That would have been really cold. So I got it on my pack drying. I don't know if you see it. Alright, we're coming up on Cedar Creek, which is at mile 67.7. The Gut Hook app calls this a seasonal water source. It's flowing pretty good, but we've had a lot of rain, so I don't know if it's always flowing this hard, but there's quite a lot of water in it. Even a good place to cool off in the summertime right there. So we're done. We are at the Foran Gap trailhead, and the road is just right there, and the truck is just over there. It's been a really good hike, and it's just been some beautiful scenery. The sun came out today, so that was absolutely wonderful. It just made everything just spectacular to end the hike. Anyway, these boys are headed back to Louisiana. I'm headed to go camp with some friends. So it's been a good hike.
Yep.
Bye.
See ya.